That's the bossy lady that I'm talking about. She likes to... So I'm not going to ask Aramon and Michelle and Khairi to repeat themselves, but we will go to Eashan. If you can give us a bit of a background on your side hustle experience.
Hi, this is Eashan, and first of all, I apologize for my surrounding because I work in construction and I had to visit different sites every day, and apologize for the noise and the camera. But yeah, my side hustle actually started back when I was in college. And over the time, I had a few small businesses, and some worked, some didn't work. And the first one what I started was actually amazing. And that's when I felt more motivated. And every time I speak about businesses, I always wanted to know more about it. And I always wanted to connect more people who do business and who talk about businesses. And my side hustle, the first one was reselling cell phones. So I used to buy refurbished phone or phone that are broken, and I used to fix it by myself. So apparently I learned from YouTube how to fix phones, and so I fixed it by myself and resell it to online market. So when I finished my college, my mom gave me, I asked my mom to buy me a new phone, but she couldn't afford it. So she gave me about 6,000 Bangladeshi taka. And with that money, I bought an old phone and I keep reselling it for about 3 months. And I bought the phone that I wanted after 6 months, after I kept reselling. And yeah, and that was my first side hustle. And and from that point, I always wanted to do business. I was more into it, even though I was studying engineering, but I was always into business. Like every people that I know who do businesses, those are the people I always wanted to connect with, and which is why I'm here. I wanted to meet like-minded people like me, and who are always motivated, who always do what they really like to do, especially in terms of business. And when I was in university, I was studying in my uni, and there was snow around. During the winter break, none of the students really wanted to go out. So I actually took that initiative and basically turned my whole dormitory room into a grocery store. Yeah, so that was amazing. It helped me pay half of my tuition fee when I was a university student, first year university student. So none of the student was actually into going out and buy their groceries. So I basically went out and bought a heaps of daily needed stuff, and just put it on my dorm room. And basically from there, I started selling stuff to other students during the winter. So yeah, that was my second side hustle. And after that, I came to Australia. And since then, I've been trying to get into sustainable businesses. And yeah, I have started one small gift shop in Queen Vic Market. But due to my study, I couldn't really do it properly. And now I am over my study. I'm doing a full-time job. I feel like this is me perfect time to start a new business, especially in sustainable. So yeah, now if anyone have any question, please ask. And that's me. That's my story.
What I love about all of our speakers is that they all shared one interesting thing, is that all of them everybody solved a problem. And I think everybody has got, they started one business, they've started a second business, they've got another idea, have another idea, had another idea. And I think once you get into that kind of entrepreneurial mindset where you go, hey, I can make some money doing some stuff other than working for an employer, it starts ticking in your head, starts creating all sorts of change as well. Aramon, thank you to our speakers, just amazing already. Aramon, can we hear what some of your other side hustle projects or thoughts are? What sort of, I know you started with lawnmower guy. What else have you got cooking?
So obviously I got my normal job, which is just waitering. I do voluntary work for Let's 20 Minute Lot every now and then. So I'm close with a couple of people from there. Also do voluntary work for Melbourne United. So I go to Melbourne United games. I work at them. I'm hopefully gonna try to get a job through that. And also just my dad's retired now, but he does work as well still. So I go out, help him with like tradie stuff, and yeah.
And what was when you started doing your lawn mowing? Why did you start doing that? What was it that kind of made you go, yeah, I think this could be a thing. I could make some ka-ching out of this.
So at first I was just doing, like I said, my own and my uncle's. My uncle would pay me to do his lawn, and where he worked, I would mow that as well. And that was pretty cheap, but my dad started pushing me. He was mainly my dad helped me get motivated to actually make something out of it. And I did a couple of lawns, which was just for about an hour. I would make like $100 just off that, which was really good. And yeah, so after doing a couple of those, I try to spread it more and more and more. It's just, yeah, sadly, like I said, I haven't been able to do it as much anymore, just mainly do mine and my uncle's now. But yeah, it was mainly my dad that really motivated me. And then I just kept trying to push myself.
Love it. And I tell you what, $100 for an hour's worth of work. Who's happy with that? $100 for an hour of pushing a lawnmower around. Woohoo! Happy, happy days. And I hope we don't have anybody. Do we have anybody here from the tax office? No, good. Side hustles are oftentimes tax-free. We don't like to say that too loud, but get paid in cash side hustles can be tax-free. We say that very quietly so the tax man doesn't hear us. Amazing, amazing. Michelle and Khairi, what was it that made you? I know that there was COVID and all that kind of stuff, but what was the inspiration to continue with creating the side hustle that you've got of Nauru?
I think initially it was the fact that, we actually produced something we thought was,
impossible.
Yeah, we were just like, can we do this at first? And that kind of kicked off into more of like, what does our friend kind of need? And then I guess it kind of just kept rolling like that, right?
Yeah, well, we definitely got feedback. So it's sort of money because we haven't made a single cent from our side hustle. I can't even call it a side hustle because it's not earning us the bucks, but it's definitely earning us a lot of it's like fulfilling what we need in terms of what we see our passions to be aligned to. So it's very passion filled, and it's also very like people filled, because when people validate that, like, hey, this has helped them, or this is something that they see could be helping their friends, and they want other people to know about it, it gives us the excitement to continue and to want to build it and to keep on improving it and everything.
Yeah, it's like at the end of, like, let's just say a milestone or whatever, there's usually another thing that's just like we get excited about that's related to the same topic. Like, oh, we can build on it, and I guess it's kind of just been that ongoing thing, I think, especially in the tech space, right? Because tech is always kind of evolving, so there's always new technology and new things coming out, and it's
So we've been like continuously learning and continuously evolving the product in order to suit whatever people need in the market as well. And doing that constant validation, because that's what's fueling it. It's not just our passions fueling it, it's their, people's passions, people seeing how their lives can be changed with something that we're working on. That fueling why we want to grow our side hustle into something bigger, and eventually, have its own legs to make money and to have its own, product and team. But for now, before it's really running, you kind of have to nurture it. You have to still put time into it, still put your research and effort into learn, how you can improve it, and all that takes a lot of time. So obviously we're not going ahead and hiring people to do it, because it's like we want to keep that baby to ourselves, and we can improve ourselves to like grow it as well.
Yeah, and I think as well as like, because I think it was a point in time before we got our jobs was kind of like, because we're not that old, right? Well, I hope I'm not that old. We don't have that many response. Yeah, we don't have that many.
Okay, so how old are you? That's the question. How old are you?
So I'm 23.
We're both 23.
Yeah, so we don't we don't have any kids, or like we don't have to pay a mortgage. So there's a lot less like stress. So we're like, why don't we just invest time in this at this point.
Don't let that take away from anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for us, as in, that was part of our own journey. Yeah.
Whether or not to just go straight into corporate, like straight into getting jobs, filing resumes, or to give us some space to breathe and be like, okay, what can we do about this side hustle that looks like it's got legs? It's got imaginary legs, you know. Is there really legs on this? Can we put something more into it to grow its legs? Or are we just going to give up on it and never see it grow? And that was the biggest question we had to tackle right out of uni, you know, jobless in the middle of the pandemic, figuring out where we were in life. So yeah, it has been a journey both for us and for our side hustle as well.
Fantastic. Thank you. And Eashan, over to you. There was a comment in the chat box about, you know, turning into the winter 7-Eleven and how smart that was, solving a problem. And every single time, I think side hustles or any business is all about solving a problem that other people have got, and how can we do that and make money with it as well. So we'd love to hear a bit more about from you. How did you identify what the problem was?
Well, basically, it's all about getting around with the right people. And the right people is the person that gives you the right idea. And using that idea and basically implementing it is the key part of it. So when I was a student, I had no clue that I would be starting something like this. And I actually met one of my senior, and he used to have his own business. And during that time, every student would have to drive for about 1 hour to get their grocery, because everywhere was snowy and the whole campus was completely dead, because during the winter break, no one really opened their shop. So yeah, at that time I was like, okay, if I had to drive, so why not just bought some few more extra stuff, see if any student wanted to buy it or not. And it worked in very well in the first week. And from then, yeah, I kept doing it in every winter break. And right now it's still going on, even though I graduated afterwards, still going on. So I started it, and right now other students who are my junior, they started doing it, and they kept the same name that I gave it to him. So I feel actually very happy that every time I think about it. So it's called Winter House. So, and it's still going on. And it helped me, and I believe it helping all the other students who have been doing it as well. And everyone who actually gets in my dorm room, it was I've decorated in a way. It feels a different environment, more like a shop instead of a dormitory for a student to study. So it's basically being around with the right people and using my idea and getting their idea and just implementing it, actually doing it instead of just waiting, and like doing in a way that being safe so that I don't lose much money. Just try, see how it's going. If it's going good, then invest a little bit more in it. And yeah, and from just going forward.
I love that. Amin has said that's your legacy of creating this shop and then, you know, having somebody else take over and look after it for you as well. It's just an interesting thing. I'm just going to make a quick little comment, and then Elijah's got some questions that he wants to ask as well. But with one thing that you said, which really resonated with me, was starting super small, low risk, taking a small chance, a small risk, working out if that's going to work, and then expanding the product offering or what you can do, but starting with something that's super tiny that you can afford, that if it doesn't work out, well, you know what, I haven't lost anything. Because let's take Eashan's example with food. If nobody had bought the food, it's probably something that you could eat yourself. Yeah. So it's low risk, but there's also the opportunity of making some money on top of it as well. So it's such an important thing, I think, for all of our side hustlers. And it's been an important thing for me too in my side hustle, is to start with, what is it that I can risk? Is it my time? Is it my energy? Is it a small amount of money that I can put forward and see what happens, and then see how we can expand things from there? So that's a really important thing to note as well, that, you know, side hustling is about starting micro, like super small, and building as you can, building and modifying and changing as the conditions change as well, which, you know, it's winter house.
Yeah.
Had it just in winter time, you know, because that's when the greatest need was. So that's a really smart approach, working around, okay, what are the conditions that are going to make my side hustle the most successful, and starting in a way that's really achievable, really small, starting and expanding from there.
It's very important to start small. For example, the gift shop that I started at Queen Vic Market. So I basically bought sustainable products from my country and from China, and outsources. Most of them are from China and from my country. And I tried to open it in Queen Vic Market, and it didn't go well because my rent was actually much more higher than what I was selling. And at that point, I realized after 3 weeks that I have to stop. So, and that helped me to, like alleviate some of the cost. So I knew that I have to stop at the moment. Just focus. Right now, I'm focusing on more of the e-commerce, and still trying to find my own ground somewhere in Melbourne so that I could go back and start my sustainable business.
Love it, love it, love it. So good. Elijah, you've got a question.
Amazing, amazing, guys. Can I just say, the panel we have on today is incredibly inspiring, and so great to hear all of your stories. And, you know, even though it's different parts and, you know, different kinds of side hustle businesses, but it's really encouraging to hear that. So a question I had was, you know, for the panel today, perhaps Aramon, you could kick us off, was when you were first starting your business, especially you Aramon, perhaps because you're younger than most other side hustlers, what were some of the fears or doubts you had? And perhaps, you know, tell us about how did you overcome that, or did you just start a business without any fears or doubts?
For me, so I don't think I really had many fears or doubts. It was more just not having the motivation to do it, because during school, when just getting out of like lockdown, doing exams, blah, 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 it was just really stressful doing all of that. It was just, like I said, having my dad being able to push me and motivate me really just helped. And I reckon that's one thing you really need, is just motivation. You need to find someone that has your back to be able to push you always. So yeah, no. So I didn't think I was really scared or anything. Or, I mean, I could have just been a bit nervous, you know, knocking up on doors or something, like just because just random people, you don't know what you're going to expect. But I reckon just having the people I had behind me being motivated made it that much easier. Yeah.
That's great. And yeah, often I think, you know, the people you have in your life can make a huge influence. And it's great that you, Aramon, you didn't have too much fears or doubt. And, you know, door knocking can be scary for some people. So for sure, I know, you know, not everyone is an Aramon who is fearless with door knocking. So yeah, but I totally get that. So yeah, so Michelle and from Nauru, could you talk to us maybe, you know, if you don't have any fears or doubts, perhaps who inspired you, or who are the people in your life that kept you moving forward?
Yeah, I had many. So I even went to see a psychologist for it. No, it was just everything in general. It wasn't just a side hustle that was, you know, hard at that point. It was just in life, you know, you've got different directions that you could potentially go to. And I think I'm a person who I like to plan and predict the future, and in an environment where you're betting things on your side hustle and for it to work and spending a hefty amount of time on it, like I was pretty much, that was the only thing I was working on. So, you know, I didn't take the advice to go bit by bit. I kind of just like went full on and said, hey, you know, I've got nothing else to do, nothing better for me to spend my time on. Why not just put everything in this? But that really also made me fear, like, what if it didn't work out, right? What if certain results came back and it wasn't what I predicted it to be? And that was the majority of where anxiety just kind of like can spiral you down into, you know, thinking of all these edge cases going wrong and thinking, oh, I can't work things out if that happens. But I think generally the best advice, I'm trying to get myself out of this, you know, corner that I've just, you know, pulled my story down, but it's just, I think it's just getting your head into the fact that you just need to be in charge of what you are in control of today. So it's like, if you can at least, you know, get one thing done, or like do the next thing that you think is right, then you don't need to worry about 10 more steps in the future. You don't need to worry about things that, you know, you think will go wrong next year, or like a couple months down the line, or like in 10 years time, like, because by the time you're there, you know, you're going to be a different person. Situation is going to have changed. You're going to have more knowledge, more experiences, and you're going to be able to tackle that problem a lot better than you thinking about it now, like 10 years in advance. So in general, I think the biggest fear was just overthinking, overanalyzing, and, you know, in this really unpredictable environment, it was hard to continue. But when you just kind of like cut those corners, just like stop thinking too much, just think about what you want to do next, get that done first, and then continuing, that really helped me. And so that was a key belief that, you know, could push me through some harder times, especially when, you know, things could go out of control really easily in something that you can't see the results for.
Yeah, I love that.
That was
go ahead.
a hefty amount.
I answered for you.
Yeah, no, for me, it was mainly just like, I guess at the beginning is more of the feeling of being inadequate with the technical skills, right? Because it's like, can I really make this? And I guess what kind of got me through it was more of like, what's going to happen if I, you know, screw up or whatever? Because it's like, and I'm definitely looking back now and like knowing where I'm at with my, I guess, technical expertise, I'm like, I don't know what I made back then, but like, I'm so happy I did it, basically, because like,
a bunch of garbage. But
it was definitely
it was
garbage.
meant to be.
But it's just like, I think what pushed me through it was the fact that like, even if I fail, like I'm still learning in the field that I'm already in. And it's like, what am I really losing? Time? Like at this point, it's
Exactly.
that's the best thing I have right now when I'm this young. So I think it was a good investment, and I don't really regret it.
Yeah. Got us to where you are today.
Yeah, wow. Well, I love that idea. You know, the way you put it, is you thought about, you know, what's the positive aspect about it, and I'm going back to our session on Monday in terms of intrinsic motivation or inspiration from the inside, and I think you framed it in a way that you were inspired to keep going forward. So I love that, you know, and even your story, Michelle, was fantastic. And Eashan, yeah, how about for you?
Well, I'm always afraid of taking new steps, but that's why I always like to take a calculated steps, because you never know what's coming. And that is the big reason why I always like to do a lot of evaluation before I start anything, especially the one that I'm planning to start soon. Because right now I'm planning to invest like quite a lot of money, especially I'm not sure if anyone is international students here or not, but I'm an international student. And for me, actually, I have to think about my visa. I have to think about how am I going to spend money. I have to think about how am I going to use my money for my visa purposes, because there is quite a lot of money going into that as well. I have to think about rules, regulations. So which is why I don't really take big steps. And there is always fear, but the only way I overcome is I always say to these other people, because me starting my first business was with being in the right person, which is why I always go back and connect with the right person and ask questions from their experience, because if I don't start and don't fail, I won't have that experience either. So asking their experience is the best way for me to find the solution. Also do a lot of evaluation, like as many as I can. And Anita was saying, like, getting into something that you can use it even if you fail that business. So right now, let's say I'm trying to get outsource some wooden sunglasses or sustainable sunglasses or sustainable phone cover. So stuff like this, I can, if I fail it, I will be able to donate it into volunteer organization. I'll be able to sell it to my friends and family. So, things like that, and thinking about products that you can also use it afterwards, even if you are not able to sell it. So yes, I'm actually always afraid of taking a new step, but I have to do it anyway. So I'm ready to feel the fear, but I'll just do it. So see how it goes. It's not that I'm not afraid. I'm always afraid. It's my money. It's my money. I'm not getting the money from somewhere else. It's my money, and I have to do it. So I'm gonna use my money properly, see how it works. If not works, then I have to use my friends and my family, and or else I have to do something nicer so that it helps everyone else. But just getting it done is the most important one. But the most important part is to be with the right people, and the one who's gonna help you out, and they know what to do because they have done this journey and they were there. So, and also the being in the right person, it means a lot of things, even though because if you do it by yourself, after a few weeks, you go back to what you were before. Then what happens if I'm in the right person and that, continuously feed me with the right mindset, right words, I will always be able to find a solution. If there is a problem, if there is no solution, you can always go back and, just find a way to make it work. So, and it always works. It always works. It's not that it doesn't work. It always works. If not, then you're gonna have to find something else to make it work. So yeah, I'm always afraid. Yeah, I'm always afraid to take take a new step. But you have to do it. So there is no complaint actually.
Yeah. Wow.
I appreciate the fear is actually a way to go for me.
Yeah. Wow. Love that. And like some of you put it in the comments, I think it was Michelle who said, do it scared. Right. And that idea that, there's always going to be some level of fear, and it's just, just about how we can have confidence and do it scared anyway. Right. And so, yeah, I love that. And perhaps the last question for now, I wanted to ask for Amon and Michelle from Nauru is perhaps, Eashan mentioned having the right people. And so perhaps if you think about who are some of the people that influenced you on your journey and that helped you move your business forward. Yeah. So Arman, if you want to go.
So mainly my dad, he's always a guy that really pushes me to my limits, always makes me go 110% no matter what it is. And then some other people be like guy Jim Markowski, really close with him, known him for a while through basketball. He's also a guy that pushes me to do more because I usually procrastinate or don't put myself in it, even though I know I can. And so having those people around me it helps so much. It really does, yeah.
Wow, love that. How about you, Michelle and Khairi?
Well, I was gonna say him first, but having a co-founder helps because you get ideas and you get nervous about your ideas, and sometimes you need like a sounding wall. Even if you just go into an empty room and speak to yourself and you sound a bit crazy, you need to reflect what you're thinking to yourself. So having a person, training a dog, or getting a friend to like listen to you,
being someone to bounce back ideas
exactly.
is quite always helpful.
So obviously, while at home, I could rely on my family. But one other thing that really, lights up the fire for me is seeing who you impact through your work. So if you sell something, or if you're, helping this type of person out, and you find one of these people who's able to give you feedback, but not just feedback, but
VIPs, right?
Yeah. So we had these sessions for a while, and we've ended them because they were taking a lot of time, but it really got me through a lot of the depths. these sessions where I just like talked, I just sat down and said, hey, every single Thursday afternoon, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to be in this Discord channel. And if anyone pops up, then, you know, so be it. If nobody popped up, that's fine.
And these were people that were like, you know, I guess testing or first test like run of the app.
So we had a few friends who were testing the app and we knew them already personally, but it was also because they were testing apps, so I wanted to get their feedback, but also just kind of catch up and see what they're doing, you know. What are you guys up to, and what do you need from us, like how can I help you, and through that, you know, I could hear about their inspirations and what they want to do, and I could share about like mine and, you know, what I had in mind for growing the app, but just not just that, but also personally, I guess. So like that really motivated me, especially when I felt like nobody was watching, nobody was listening. It was like, there's these friends who I could rely on, and who genuinely, you know, have tried something that I've, you know, been producing and they've benefited from it, or they're kind of interested to see how it turns out, really, because it's like, well, what's this strange thing, you know, what are you guys going to do with it?
Yeah, and
like,
that kind of goes back with the whole, I guess, core part of what we're doing, which is accountability, right? The fact that they are, you know, connected to it shows, you know, the positive kind of motivation to it.
Yeah, because our whole product is based around social accountability. So it's like, oh, I want to be part of that experiment too. You know, I need social accountability. And I need you guys to keep me accountable to build this app better for you guys. So it's like a double, like meta kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, improving yourself makes it easier to help the people who you're trying to help. And then it goes back around to you. So that helped.
Wow, love that, guys. And I think a common theme is that, you know, in Aramon and what Michelle and Khairi said is that, you know, seeing the people you impact, having someone who keeps you accountable, it can be customers, potential customers, but to have that feedback that keeps you going, and sounds like it helps to inspire you to move forward. So yeah, love that. And yeah, I just want to pass it to Anita to if you just if you had any questions, Anita.
I do. There's two more, and then we'd love to throw it over to our audience, because I'm hoping that you guys are as inspired as I am. I'm writing down notes like a bit of a crazy person of all kinds of things that are coming up for me that I'm noticing from you guys. And the first one is, how much has YouTube played a part in your success? YouTube videos of how to do this, how to do that, how to do all kinds of things. Open it up, Eashan, you're off mute. Has YouTube played a big part in your success?
A lot. Because if you do it by yourself, YouTube is a big friend of yours, apart from your other friends. A lot. Because at one point when I was at Queen Vic Market, I was actually buying a recyclable T-shirt, and I had to find a way to print the T-shirt. So what I did, actually went into YouTube, learned how other people print their T-shirts. And I found all those small instruments, how to do it, and bought it from outsources from other country and do it by myself. And I've learned how to fix phone from YouTube as well. So it has been the best friend of mine amongst all my other friends as well. So YouTube has been great. And there are heaps of good stuff from other entrepreneurs and a lot of motivational quotes and everything. There is so many different ways to use YouTube. So it's just to know what to watch, I guess. So, and know what to look for and the purpose of it. So YouTube has been great for me. Like I'm still using YouTube, and when I do search of my sustainable products, look for new products, ideas, I always go into YouTube. And even like, you know, organizing the store, I always go into YouTube, how other people done it. So kind of clone it and using my own style in it as well. So YouTube is the way to go, I guess.
There's somebody who has done just about anything that you can possibly want to know on YouTube, which I just absolutely love. Aramon, what about you? Has YouTube been any part of your success?
So for my lawn mowing business, not really. Like I have watched some YouTube videos about like just lawn mowing, but like I watched some videos about just how to become an entrepreneur as well, just in general. Like there's just little TikToks, YouTube, anything really that are just people doing their own little side gigs. And I've YouTube other just like house to house activities, which could be a side gig as well. Like lawn mowing's a house thing. I decided to, make it a little thing I can do after school or whatever. So really anything with YouTube can help. Just
did you ever use it to like learn how to like service your lawnmower or repair it if things broke down?
I haven't really used that for that as much because my dad has been a tradie his entire life. So a lot of things I've learned from my dad, but just like little things I've done through YouTube or whatever. Or like I said, you can watch so many videos about some people's own little self hustles. And it's really good. It does definitely help a lot.
For sure. One other question that I wanted to ask you while I've got you off mute is, what was the biggest like unexpected change that you noticed in yourself as you started and grew your side hustle? So what was something that you kind of, if you look back to when you started your side hustle and you look at you now, what is something that's changed with you but you weren't, that sort of like was a surprise?
I guess really just being more productive, being able to like force myself or like get myself up and actually do something other than, chill at home, play games or hang out with mates, actually do something that can actually benefit me in a lot more. So like instead of just like going to basketball every week, also go mow some lawns or, just small things like that, really just making myself more productive. Yeah.
And what have you done with the ka-ching that you've made so far? Have you saved any of it?
I've saved some of it. Some goes to mostly food. Love food. But
who else here loves food?
I waste all my money on food. But yeah, I try to save as much as I can. Or I just, invest on myself, really, mainly.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you. Michelle and Khairi, what about you? What's been the biggest unexpected change in sort of bringing this entrepreneurial mindset to the forefront? What's the biggest change you've noticed in yourselves?
What? I think, well, surprisingly, like I said, I have a bit of a computing background, but I actually don't. My bachelor's degree was in biological science or something like that. Don't even remember it.
Very completely different.
So I changed industries, I changed career, I changed everything I thought I would be doing right before I was like, 21. And then around the time when the side hustle thing turned into something I wanted to pursue for my own passion and just for my own self-growth, I was like, all right, like, am I ready for this? No, I'm not. But I just, had to give it a try because like not doing it would make me regret it even more. So, doing that and deciding to get into the IT industry and learning more about it actually landed me a role in as a UX designer in another startup, not my own startup. Obviously, still managing my own startup, but helping other people out because of the skills that you gain along the way while you're doing something, chasing, down that thing that you're really interested in. You tend to pick up skills that are beneficial to other people that you see along the way, and that becomes your own, I guess, side hustle in terms of income or gaining people's interest because they're being helped out by what you can offer them. So I've through that been able to help out several other side businesses, like build landing pages for their own side hustles and give feedback for people who have like Instagram pages and doing marketing, and all that stuff came into play because I started to unlock different things that I never knew I could. And because they were all really interesting, I saw other people that were also interested, and I kind of changed a lot of who I was before, and now I'm doing new things. So it's always exciting, never knowing what you would pick up next.
Absolutely. And Khairi, what about you? What's been the biggest unexpected change you've noticed in yourself?
Recently, actually, I just realized this. It's more like it's come again, but recently I had like a tutoring lesson, right, for like learning Indonesian, and she asked me like, so what do you do for your hobbies? And I was like, what do I do nowadays? Like I do my my main work, and then after that, I work on my side hustle, and then like, but I don't want to do anything else. So I'm just like going hard at this, and I'm like, is that bad? And I'm like, but I think I like it though. But
if you love it and
like,
if you're enjoying it and it's not taking away from your life, and then keep
the
doing it.
Because like even when I do like coding, because I do a lot of coding, right? Like software engineer is my job, and in like the side hustle, a lot of time I do it when I'm like, let's say talking to friends in Discord still. Like they're they're just playing games or whatever, but I'm there talking to them sometimes, but I'm just doing my own thing. So it's not like I've completely separated myself, but like I'm just doing different activities. Before I used to
enjoy are different.
It's like I still stay up with them, like it's just 1 a.m., but they're playing games till 1 a.m. I'm like staring at a screen typing.
You're creating a future business and helping other people to 1 a.m.
It's good though, because I kind of like I kind of motivate them sometimes as well, right? Because when they see me, like, because I still play games every now and then, but like honestly, they're always playing games, so it's like a difference, right?
You can look, you know what? You can spend your time doing stuff that is like stuff, or you can spend your time doing stuff that's adding to humanity in yourself and the community, and a mixture of.
It's not like it's bad. It's just that like I've realized that like, oh, I used to be, just kind of always playing games and doing these things. And now I'm happy that it's a bit more balanced. And like you can look back at it and be like, I actually completed something, not just, did nothing today.
Yeah. Another question, one that Vayos had was, and I think because you guys have got a business name of Nauru, how did you come up? Vice wants to know, how did you come up with the name? The biggest, hardest thing ever. How did you come up with your name?
As soon as I saw that question, I was like, we did not, that's not a question we should answer, because we did not choose our name very well.
Honestly, I just feel like it's not something you should be hard stuck on for like ages, right? It's like, to me, it's like, some people can spend days, bottlenecking their own like progress because they're like, what do we name our business? And then they just never do anything. They just give up, right? So I think for us, we realized that, we might as well just pick something. And Naru actually just means like, because I guess we're a bit like, I don't know what you call it, like weeb anime people. So this is Naru is like Japanese, but I think it means to become. But there's a bunch of different meanings, right? And they're like, it was, I think, just three of us just putting a bunch of names, whatever. And then I don't know, this one kind of just stuck. So really there's no, great story behind it. It's just like the meaning of Naru basically just means to become, like, and that kind of fits with our whole, I guess, vision. So like, let's just stick with it and move on from this question of bottlenecking, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the challenges. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Michelle.
No, I'm just thinking, like, when you think of like, really cool brand names like Nike, Apple and things like that, it's like, well, it never really stuck when it was first said. It never really, there's no like story behind it. There's nobody thinks of Apple and be like, oh yeah, the computer. Like back in the days, like, what do you mean? You mean, the apple that comes from a tree kind of thing. And it's like the more stories you brand around it, that's what makes it stick. Like branding really comes down to telling, like being with it, taking that name with you along with the journey and using it to impact a lot of lives. And that's how people, stick. That's how the name sticks in their head. So like any name goes. If you've got like a story, like a really cool story you can show off, just when you like say a name, people's like, how'd you get that name? You're like, all right, time for me to show off my cool story. Go ahead and do it. But like if you don't, just pick anything, like top of your head, even if it's spontaneous, because the more you repeat it, the more you say it, the more it will stick, and the more stories will accumulate around it. So yeah.
Vayos, you wanted to say something. I could see you desperately going like
this.
I
do. I'm having a very difficult time naming my business, and one thing that I'm stuck on is it can go either way. You can obviously come up with a name like Uber, Nike, as you said, or anything like that, and pump in a stack load of advertising dollars to become a default, especially when you're competing against other people in the same space. Or you can try and choose.
Like
I'm not even going to say I'm not even going to say a perfect name, but just a name that basically expresses your business. Therefore, when somebody sees the name, they go, "Oh, okay, word association. I know what this guy does. I know what the offering is." So, given the fact that your name isn't word specific to your business, have you found it difficult scaling it?
Yeah,
I think for us, actually, it's because we're starting off small, right? It kind of is also like a question people like to ask. So then it gives the opportunity to explain as well what it is, right? Whereas sometimes I think when a business is just like, what's a
organic
example?
growth?
Yeah, it's just like, okay, you get what it is, but then people might not really be too interested in the name, and then there's less opportunity sometimes. But
I think when there's association to the name, people can come in with their own ideas of what you're providing to them. So it comes with a cost as well, because now, if their assumption is correct about your brand, what you're offering, say like fishbowl, okay, maybe that's your name. Maybe you do sell fish bowls, right? And that's perfect because, people associate your name with what you sell. But if you think a bit bigger, what exactly are you trying to communicate with your brand name? Are you trying to communicate the product? Or are you trying to communicate belief? What kind of impact you want to the world? What kind of I guess, bigger scope value you have as a company. And once those extra layers of what your name means comes into play, just making the name the exact product or making a name the exact thing you're offering doesn't make sense anymore, because there's all these layers of onion that you want to educate them with. So I guess it depends on the scope that you're going with. If it's just a product name, right, label it as simple as possible. Label it the first thing they think about. They know exactly what you're selling. If it's a store name, a brand name, something you want that scales, I think it might even be nicer for you to name it something that isn't something people will immediately associate with, because that re-educating actually takes a lot more effort than educating someone from scratch, because they will have no associations with what that name means, and now they're starting on a blank sheet. They're like, what exactly is going on? And obviously that comes down with a lot other branding stuff. So yeah, I could go on forever about it.
Yeah, you certainly
can. Yeah, we all know it's like an endless, like you could do like workshops for days and still be unsatisfied.
Days, we're talking about weeks. Okay, it's probably been a good month, and I've come up with, I'd say I've probably come up with 100 names, and my biggest issue is every time I come up with something, I try to invalidate it, and so forth, and I'm excellent at that.
Is that what the wheel is?
Is that all the names in the?
No, that's actually a whiskey tasting wheel. So basically,
could also be a name, business name.
I know. I created a business name by using a random word generator on the internet somewhere, and I just went next. Oh. So it can be anything. We will just.
I'll mute myself.
I was going to say, I think we need to. But thank you for your question. Do we have any other questions? Actually, Eashan, I think, did you come off mute before that you wanted to add to that conversation about business names?
Yes. Actually, it's actually quite tough to really find out the name, because especially right now, if you have a similar name with other company, you might get into trouble. And if your company is a bit bigger scale and growing up, and it can cost you a lot of money as well. So yes, naming a company name is actually quite important. And for me, it was always easy because I always associated with the product that I'm selling. For example, Winter House is called as like people can know what's in there. And my current business is Greeny Australia. So people can know at least Greeny Australia, what that means. It's all about sustainable product. But also being very careful doesn't really goes along with the other company. And yeah, it's hard. I'm not gonna say it's easy. It's hard. Take your time. Also, I mean, if you wanna go with any name, because I've come up with many other names for my second business, and the one of them was Mayabi, so which is like a word of Bangladeshi word, making clothes, making stuff out of sustainable product, which is a very strong word for our country that everyone used to use. So word like this, anything can be useful, but if you can try to relate it to business, that's better. If not, go for it. But I'd say trying to come up with something that reflects your business is not actually bad. If you can do it, that's good. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Actually, it's not easy, but you just have to work it through and find your way to figure it out. I guess it's not an easy task, and also be very careful that it doesn't really like goes along with other companies' name, because that will be a big issue afterwards if it grows in bigger scale.
Bayos, for you and for everybody else, I know there is, being an entrepreneur, there is a lot of decisions you have to make. One of the sessions that we'll be doing is all about how to make confident decisions, so that you can take that list of 100 names that you've got and scrub a bunch of them and land on a short list and then get to a name. So, and that's with any decision that you need to make for all of you. So coming up, that's one of our sessions, is making confident decisions. How you can do that easily and effortlessly. How good would that be if we could make a decision easily? Do we have any other people that have got some questions? Either feel free to either do this, type them into the chat box, or come off mute. I'll give you a second. Da-da-da. There's some hold music.
I actually wanted to ask you that how, like, obviously when you start a business, after some time you do doubt yourself so much, and then you face so many times like, oh my God, what am I doing? Why am I doing this and stuff? So how, or what was something that kept you going? Like, what was like, no, I think I should just continue doing this. So what was that?
When you had those down moments, how did you bring yourself back up again and keep it going?
Yeah.
Down moment, like in terms of losing money, or in terms of criticizing?
Just everything, like
losing confidence, maybe?
Criticizing, there was a lot of criticizing, and I just didn't listen to it. I was doing my own things, just avoid what they were saying, because my room basically turned into a grocery store, and people were talking about it, and there was rumors here and there, and I'll just keep avoiding it. And also, as I'm saying, being with the right people and listen to what I really want to listen. That helped me always. And having the confidence, because when you are confident, it reflects to other people, and you can connect with much more greater people than you are at the moment. And people can see it, and people can instantly notice that, oh, okay, he's doing something great. I should really go and get in touch with him. And you learn more from them as well. So it's all about confidence and just in implementing it. Sorry, what was the other question?
I think that was the question.
Yeah.
How do you overcome it? And I think one of, like, Eashan has really nailed it when he said, there's going to be haters out there. There's going to be people that so much, right? There's going to be people that will talk behind your back, or this or that or whatever. And remember, like on Monday, I asked the question, who's the boss of you? Can I get you to point to the person who's the boss of you? Yeah. You get to choose who you listen to. So if you've got, sometimes family can be the biggest. Aramon, you are so lucky that your dad is the encouraging force behind you. But a lot of families, a lot of people, that's not their situation. Oftentimes families can be the biggest poo-hooers, that's a technical term, for people who say, oh, nah, too hard, nah, you're dumb, that's a stupid idea, that's this. follow what you think is right for you. Cut out all of those negative voices. Listen to stuff on YouTube. Surround yourself, like here, with this like-minded group of people that have got really positive, helpful things to say. Now, not everything that is positive is helpful, because sometimes I've worked with entrepreneurs and there are some business ideas that are actually not particularly good. And having somebody come from a space that's actually cares about you, but in a really loving, kind way, goes, maybe you need to have a look at this from a different perspective, because I'm really not confident that that's going to be successful, is different to somebody going, oh, no, don't do it because it's too risky. And there's a whole lot of different space there.
And I think also volunteering helps, like giving away something to the community and bring back your confidence. And friends are the best people, because when I was going down, my friends would be like, asking me, hey, how can we help you? Because we have this great community of international students. We can pass this message to our other international students. And we can also ask City of Melbourne to help you promote your business and stuff like that. I mean, having good circle of friends and volunteering in the right place, also volunteering, giving away something, like, it means that, okay, you are doing something for other people and not getting paid, also brings a lot more confidence in yourself. So find a way to bring back the confidence. It's with the right people, and it's good friends. They're the best people that out there to help you out. And I'm always in trouble, like in every step that I took, I get in trouble, then I have to figure out a way to sort it. And I lost a lot of money in my business as well, but I was in trouble. Now I'm getting back into it. I have to, work out I have to do a lot of research and, looking every products, how they're selling, what's happening in the market, and what's the current, what are the competition, and so forth, everything that I can know. But the most important one is, if I don't do it, I will never be confident. So I have to do it.
Yeah. Confidence comes after taking action, not before. Courage comes first and then comes confidence. Bryony, you've got your hand up there. Did you want to ask a question?
Yeah, firstly, I wanted to ask if the speakers would be able to attend our graduation or not.
100%
Well, Eashan will be there because he's part of our amazing team anyway. He is one of our side hustlers. And we can certainly find out if our other guest speakers can come, so that you can meet them in real life.
And I also wanted to ask,
Sorry, go Bryony.
I also wanted to ask, I wanted to ask Aramon something.
Sure.
I wanted to ask, how did he manage his high school studies with the side hustle?
So for me, I really could just make the time for whenever I wanted to do it. Someone would text me, and so I would usually get the number or something, and I'll just text them my availability whenever I could. So I would just do whatever my studies were, whatever it was, and then I would tell them whenever because when you're your own boss, you can do when you most feel like it, when you're most, when it's the best suitable for you in a good time, that's not like a month away, like in that week. And I'll just do that. I'll just keep getting people's numbers, ask them, out of these days, which day is the best for you? What time would be the best for you? And I'll just try to, shuffle some stuff that I had to do or whatever it was. And it was not too difficult, but it was a bit easier, especially because I was like year 10 as well. So it wasn't like hardcore studies, but you can always make time.
And last question, do you have any other bigger plans for the future, or any other businesses that you would like to open?
So right now I'm doing VCAL, and I'm doing a 2-year VCAL program for a basketball school, and I can still get a diploma for uni. So I'm gonna see where I'm at right by then, but I'm gonna go to uni. Hopefully, I'm gonna do some sport courses, and also I'm gonna get myself in a business course and just work myself up from there.
Thanks.
Amazing. Aramon, how ace is that even as a young person fitting it in, I love that you've already recognized as a 16-year-old and younger that when you are the boss of yourself, not only just the boss of yourself, but you are your own boss, that you get to determine where you work, when you work, how you work, and you can fit it in around stuff. And it's one of the greatest things. Like my side hustle, I have my own business and I have my own side hustle. And I just fit it in around whatever it is that I'm doing. We have all got spare time. Every single one of us has got some time that we can carve out, that we can shift priority from here over to here and increase whatever it is so that we can make that space available to improve ourselves, to be the boss of us, not just as the boss of us, but as our own boss. Who loves that? Thank you. Do we have any? I think we've got time for maybe one more question. That's my cat that's meowing in the background saying, what is going on? Do we have one more question? No.
I was going to say, Bryony, as an answer to your question earlier regarding guest speakers at a graduation ceremony, we will actually be having a different guest speaker for the graduation ceremony. So you'll be able to meet them on the day as well. So, and also just another quick little note before we wrap things up. I have emailed through everybody just asking if you guys have any dietary requirements for the first ceremony. If you could just get back to my email before next Wednesday, that would be perfect.
Thank you, Carly. My dietary requirement is that the food must be delicious. That is my absolute dietary requirement, delicious. All right, last question for each of our panel members, and that is the good one. Oh, thanks for the reminder, Carly. Is the good question is, what is one tip that you wish you had known, one thing you wished you'd known when you started your side hustle that you're happy to share with our amazing community here? What's one thing you wish you'd known? Who wants to start? Eashan, you're on.
Don't walk away when you started, because I've started something really nice and I've walked away from it, and now it's a great business. So don't walk away. Keep doing it. Keep being in it. It's gonna be tough, but just don't walk away. Do it. Keep just doing it. Find a way to work it out. But if it doesn't work, if it's hurting you, yes, you have to stop. But it's always good to evaluating it and not let other people, just getting into your heads. So just keep doing it, because you're doing it right, and the math's working, everything working. You are seeing the benefits. Don't do it because of other people are criticizing behind you. I had this issue, so do not walk away if you know it's going great. Doesn't matter what.
I love that. And that's why Side Hustle School, we created it as 50% mindset and 50% business skills, so that you can build that unmesswithable mindset that even if others are saying, oh, it's a lot of, but within your heart, your soul, that this is something that you need to be doing for yourself.
And I also have one friend, I think many of you know, he has many shops in Melbourne at the moment. It's called Dropout Chaiwala. So a lot of you guys probably know him and also visited his shop. So when he started his journey, he's a very nice person. It's amazing. He always, get along, like share his experience, also told like how you can start your own business. So when he started his journey, he had a lot of criticizing from many different people, but he kept doing it. Now it's $1 million industry that he has grown up. So, I mean, just keep doing it. If you see the numbers going right, yes, that's a big yes.
Fantastic. Thanks, Eashan. Aramon, what is your one tip?
So mine would actually be same as Eashan's. Just because I've pretty much walked away from my lawn mowing business, and that, like I said, it was about $100 an hour. It was really whatever price I wanted, because every lawn's different. Every lawn has different heights of grass, more work, less work, whatever it is. And now my normal job, I'm getting $18.50 an hour, and that's like late shifts. Sometimes I finish 1 a.m. and stuff instead of finishing whenever I want or whatever it was. So yeah, just don't walk away. If you are dedicated to it and you know that it's working, you can get some cash from it and you're loving it, just keep pushing yourself to keep doing it, because it does pay out in the end.
Go back to it. You can go back to it. That's the whole thing. If you've made a decision and it hasn't turned out, you've quit something like Aramon has, you can go back and start it again. Michelle and Khairi, what is your one tip for new players? What's the one thing that you wish you'd known?
Yes, for me, it's like, don't stop yourself just because you think you're not doing it right, or it's the wrong way. It's like, honestly, if that stops you so much, just do it and fail. And because honestly, that's how you learn, right? No one really starts out no one starts out doing it the right way. The reason why we have a correct way, it's because so many people failed and found out that's the right way. But what really builds that foundation is your failure. So don't let that stop you.
So fail fast and fail hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of failure. Do it scared.
Totally. Yeah, do it scared. Love it. Love it. And Michelle?
Pretty much the same thing, just in different words, I guess. It's like, don't be afraid of starting. Don't be afraid of giving it a shot. And yeah, the worst that could happen is that you fail. Come to terms with it. Tell yourself the worst that could happen is fail. What will happen after I fail? I'll still be here. The library's packing up.
One second, we're getting kicked out.
I was going to say, you're getting kicked out. So we're going to say thank you very much. And can we please give our guest speakers an amazing round of applause? Woo!
We're going to let you us on, but yeah, we need to get out.
I was going to say, you guys go. You're getting kicked out. We don't want you, fisticuffs there. So thank you so much for your time and expertise. Amazing. Thank you so much. And you guys go, but the rest of you stay here because we have got our quick poll to ask.
Sorry, Anita. Sorry.
Yeah.
I wanted to add one last.
Please do.
One last thing is avoid criticism, because the business that I was talking about is of a restaurant that I opened up with 2 of my other friends. So in that restaurant, I was working at least 5 to 6 hours a day, and I was also studying at the same time. Sometime being tired, so I weren't able to have showers sometimes. So sometimes what happens, all of my clothes were getting smelly and this and that. People are talking about it, and they were talking out loud in front of me, and I was feeling, we are people, so we feel bad. I was feeling bad about it. Then I quitted that restaurant. Now it's a very big and good restaurant, because my other friend, they stayed back and they did it anyway. And at the same time, because of the criticism of me getting from other people, hey, you're getting smelly, this and that, your clothes getting smelly, and your rooms become a restaurant now, and all of this thing. And I was basically on that restaurant most of my time, so couldn't even socialize. So avoiding all this criticism, and just do not walk away. Avoid all this criticism, because all of my 2 other friends stayed in there, and now they have a great restaurant.
Yeah. It can be really hard when you've got haters and criticizers and all that sort of stuff, and putting the block onto them and filling your head, your heart, your soul, everything, surrounding yourself with people who are encouraging of you, supportive of you, is such an important thing, because business is scary. Even a micro business can be really scary. So building that community, which is why I love Side Hustle School. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, make sure that you do, because this is a space where we'll be able to come ask questions. When you're having those moments of, oh, I'm feeling really, I don't know what to do, there'll be a whole group of people here that will be here to help you and support you and move you through that. Can we please give another round of applause to Aramon and Eashan, our guest speakers? You're amazing. Woo-hoo! So inspiring to hear your stories, to hear what you've done, created something out of nothing and made something, moved on from it. Maybe Aramon moving back to it, hopefully, maybe, possibly, perhaps. There's a whole heap of space in that kind of services area that is really a big gap there. So Aramon, can we just yay, love your work. Can we thank you? You can head off. We are going to just do a last little bit of admin stuff on our side here. But thank you so much. You can stay if you like. Carly, can I get you to put up the poll? I'm trying to do it here and it's not giving me access. Or Elijah, if you can do that as well.
It's already been done, that's why.
Has it already been put up?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know. Look at that. No?
I may have relaunched it, but it has been done apparently.
Okay. Marie-Louise, you've got a strange and I don't know face.
It popped up momentarily if you're talking about the results.
No, just the poll itself.
Oh, yeah, the poll came through. Yeah.
Okay.
But then the results came up momentarily. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I haven't seen either. So that's why I'm in the dark right here. All right.
The result was an accident. Sorry.
Good. No, that's okay. That's okay. Now, just a reminder that we are back again on Monday, 4:30 to 7:30. Make sure that you have yourself some goodies to have a bite of and some snack. We're going to be again back with some more mindset stuff. These are the foundations that create an unmesswithable, let's say, PG rate or a G-rated version of. It's an unmesswithable mindset, so that when you decide that you want to start or continue or grow your side hustle, that this is really looked after, and this is looked after, your heart and your soul, connecting them together. So if nobody has any other questions, I think we're done for the day. Elijah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we might be. There's a handout. Barney, if you wanted to ask your question.
Oh, yes,
yeah,
dying.
I actually had the hand up and then you were like, there's no one else question. I think
sorry.
No,
you can always just come off mute and go,
no, I didn't want to interrupt, but as I was saying, I was gonna say, why didn't we have a dance break?
Well, we can now.
We can now.
I mean, I'm up for a dance break now. Who's got a spare 90 seconds? Thank you for the reminder. Oh my God, because Sanchi, weren't you finding some music for us?
Yeah, she has to do a Bollywood dance.
Do you have some music that you can use?
You're on
You're
mute.
on mute. She's on mute. Oh.
Can I just tell you the song and you can put it on your phone?
Can you just put it on your phone and put it, if you just put it on speaker on your phone? Yeah. That's all I'm going to do anyway.
Okay.
All right. Can we get everybody please to be upstanding?
Okay.
It's only going to take us 90 seconds. 90-second dance break. Thanks, Bryony. Love you for the reminder. I'm just going to put my desk up. I've got one of those fancy electronic desks that goes up and down. All right, Sanchi, do you have the music ready?
Can you hear it?
I can't hear it.
You
have AirPods on.
Oh yeah. Just realized. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
almost there.
Everybody upstanding, please.
Yeah?
No.
No?
No.
Why not? Now I just removed my AirPods as well.
Make
Did
sure
you
the
disconnect?
Did you disconnect Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Oh dear me.
All right. Oh,
Okay,
dear.
would
All right,
Got it.
have it ready for next time. We're going to use another song.
Next time.
That is so weird. I don't know why you can't hear it.
I don't know either, but we're going to use this one for now. Have it ready for Monday.
Okay.
I like to move it. You like to. I like to.
Oh my god, I just realized that your hair looks like Kim Julian.
I like to move it. I like to move it. I like to move it. All right, Sanchi, have you got a dance move? Have you got a dance move for us? All right, Bryony, what's your dance move?
I'm actually holding my phone.
That's okay. Show us what it is. You can just have a one-handed dance move, all right? Oh, she's got the little moves. All right, Elijah, what's yours? Oh, he's got the...
I can't move.
Come on, Sanchi, give us another move. Give us another move, Sanchi. We're going to do the hair flip.
Yeah. I love it. Anita.
I mean, I can flick all of my hair, surely. All right, Elijah, what's your dance move?
I don't know.
I like to move it. I like to move it. I like to move it. You like to move it. I 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 like to move it. Amazing. Amazing. Amazing.
Wait, do you think the people that talk would get annoyed that we're doing a dance session?
Why?
Because we should have done one.
Well, look,
it would have felt like a virtual disco.
Look, it is. Oh, Marie Louise, were you rocking out? Why?
She's scooped.
We well, the thing is,
I don't dance on command like that. No.
Right.
I just left you all to it for a minute.
Side Hustle School is all about expanding your comfort zone in a way that is safe. This is a very, very safe way to expand your comfort zone. That's not it, but thanks. All right, amazing humans. We will see you back here on Monday, 4:30 to 7:30 for some more mind-bending amazingness. Stay awesome. Stay hustling. Stay side hustling.
Thanks, everyone.
Be well, be loved, and we'll see you on Monday. Love you,
Thanks.
boys.
See you guys. See you Monday. Enjoy your week.
Bye. I'm going to move them to the waiting room. There we go.
Amazing.
Let me just put the recording on.